About how I was in a really abusive relationship when I was, and it started when I was in JC, my first year when I was 17. So, well, if I say abusive, all you think about is maybe physical. So you think about bruises and physical violence. But actually, what people fail to realize is actually that there are three main types of abuse. There's emotional, physical, and mental. And usually people don't really talk about mental abuse because or emotional, because they think that, okay, well, you know, fights happen, arguments happen, and boyfriends and girlfriends, they argue all the time, so it's fine. But you know, the biggest mistake, I have to say that the venom in a relationship is always, in an abusive relationship, is actually when you always believe that, oh, you know what, the person loves me, so when he says he's gonna change, he's gonna change. But you know, what I feel is, because I've talked to at least 5 girls, more than 5 girls actually, after I left the relationship, and all they tell me is like, no, you know, I know him, he's gonna change, and he's not gonna be like that anymore. You know, and some even say things like, oh, you know, I'm gonna marry him next year, so I'm sure that, you know, if I can please him even more every single day, he's not gonna do that to me anymore. But you know what? No, that's like maybe 5%. You know, changing. So, you know, I thought I was weak because my ex-boyfriend always told me, you can't even handle something small like that. Me shouting at you, me pulling your hair, you can't even handle that. You call yourself a strong woman. And you know, and I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I'm weak lah. Maybe, you know, he just pulled my hair, what? Not like I'm bleeding or what, just my hair only. Then I'll like, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe I should, you know, just stay in it and be strong and show people, you know, say, oh, yeah, he pulled my hair, everything, but never mind, I'm strong. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna change him. You know, that was my driving force for 3 years. I kept saying, I'm gonna change him. I'm gonna be that girl who changes him. But what did I get? I got lots of bruises and scars and everything, which I always tried to hide from my parents. You know, I had bruises all over here, and whenever I had a swollen face after a big fight, I don't come home until like I bust my curfew, and my mom would be calling me, where are you? And I'll be like, oh, I'm having my A-levels, I had extra class. But all I'm doing is walking around the neighborhood with a you know, swelling face and everything, and I come home, go home and just like, you know, try to hide it. And then after that, one day I'm like, you know, why should I do this? I want to leave, but I couldn't. You know why? Because by then he had a grip on me. He said, you know what? You are mine. Okay, you allowed me to do this to you, so if you're gonna leave me now, after 2 years plus, after 3 years, I'm gonna do this to you. So what came in was blackmails and threats and everything to ruin my reputation. And of course, as a woman, I was like, oh no, what is everyone gonna think of me? You know, and what my parents gonna think? I was so afraid, and I was like, I'm all alone. But you know, after what made me change was actually, one day I went up to him and he said, you know what? Women get beaten every day. Why can't you take it? Why do you need to leave me? Because are you like weak? She said, you're 21. You're 21 now. So what do you mean? You know, you're not a woman, he said. And I'm like, I'm not a woman. I've been handling you for so long and stuff. So, sorry. Yeah. So I just like, you know, my message actually is that if you don't take the first step, right, no one's gonna take the first step for you. What I went through almost killed me, because at the end I risked my reputation, because I risked 3 years of my life, right? And he had a lot of things to use against me, you know. And yeah, so I just risked that. I didn't care. Honestly, my reputation got really, really ruined. I thought, you know what, might as well I don't live. You know why? Because my parents are in shame. Everyone around me thinks of me as a, you know, something else. But then, you know, I thought that, you know, the strength is in me. So what I did was, every single day I wrote things that I would miss if I would, like, you know, to jump off, or if I wanted to do overdose and everything like that. So I wrote down, and of course topping the list was my parents and my sister, who has given me support for all the way, even though I've, you know, caused them so much shame and everything. So what I just want to say is that women, just because you're women, right, doesn't mean you're the weaker sex. And and the key to your decisions and your dignity is always in yourself. Yeah, so don't let a man, like, you know, make you think that you're always the weaker one. Yeah. Happy National Women's Day.